What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Draga YouTube channel, and I wanted to start a new series for you guys that's going to help us gain some clarity on the upcoming week. I've got some Oracle decks that I like to use, and I like to use them for myself personally to figure out what kind of energies I should focus on in the upcoming week, and I wanted to share that with you a little bit. So this is going to be a reading for you guys to figure out what's going to be beneficial to keep in mind as this week unfolds. I'm going to be releasing these videos every Sunday, and they should give you some clarity on the upcoming week. This one is for the week of May 28th as we move into June, and I'm going to be using Nature's Whispers Oracle for this reading. This is a stunning. The only word I can use to describe this deck is stunning. I don't think that any other word does it justice, okay? Yes, so we're going to draw 3 cards, and it's going to be 3 things for us to keep in mind as we progress along this week. So just give me a moment to center myself and ask the Oracle deck the question, what do we need to focus on in this upcoming week? One card. Two cards. And 3 cards. All right. If you've never seen this deck before, you're about to be amazed. Alright, so let's look at this first card. This is the first thing that we can keep in mind in this coming week for the 28th of May. And we've got Higher Ground. Interesting. Let me give me a moment to go into this card. There's just so much to see, so much to look at. And I'm going to let my intuition run wild here. Okay, I think this card is about perspective. This is about gaining some clarity on the situation that you're in by kind of rising above the situation and looking at it from a higher perspective. And whatever you're getting into in this upcoming week, I think it's wise to take an above view approach to things. That's not the best way to say that, but what I'm trying to say is get an overview, take a zoom out and try to get the bigger picture of what you're trying to accomplish. And if you do that, then you'll be able to see the whole picture in a much better way. I always think of it as, like, let's say that there's 2 people and they're in the forest, right, and they're trying to get to water, and one person's down in the jungle and he's amongst the trees and he's just going forward trying to get to somewhere, but the other guy is up on a mountain and he's looking over everything and he can see exactly where the water is. Now he may not be as far ahead as the first guy, but he's gonna get to water first because he knows exactly where to go, because he scoped out the situation. He got the overall impression. So take that metaphor and apply it to your life. Like, think about the goals that you want to accomplish this week and the things you want to do, and try to take a bigger picture. Try to zoom out, as I said, and I think a great way to do that is to meditate. Meditation is probably the best way I can imagine that you could do this, and it's going to help you immensely to gain some perspective and some clarity on your situations in life, and to see the bigger picture. And I think that's what this card is saying. Let's see if there's anything else that wants to come out right now. I'm getting the sense of like a youthful energy as well. I think getting a zoom out, getting the bigger picture will kind of take some stress off, because sometimes we get so involved in what we're doing that we can only see what's in front of us, and if we can only see what's in front of us, then we can't really anticipate upcoming things, so we get a little bit stressed out. But if we take an overview, then we can see things coming miles ahead, and we can take steps to prevent them, or to steer the direction of where we're headed before we get to them, so that it's not such a surprise when little things come up, little bumps in the road come up. And I'm getting the sense of a child who definitely has no stress because they're not really worried about the little things because they know where they're going, and where they're going is fun. That's all a kid cares about, is having fun. So a kid's bigger picture is like, where's the fun? And the little bumps along the way are just inconsequential because they already know where they're headed. So don't get lost in the forest, using my old metaphor is what this card is suggesting. Okay, so that's the first thing to keep in mind for this week. The second thing is breakthrough. Okay. Yes, give me a moment with this card as well. So much going on in these cards. They're just really, you can get lost for hours in these things. Okay, so I think what this card is saying is that there's going to be some breakthroughs this week. If you take a zoomed out view of your goals and your the things that you want to achieve, I think what's going to be inevitable from that is a breakthrough. You're going to see some success. I think that's what this card is saying that success is on its way, and you just have to make that final push. So many of us will give up right before the finish line. I know that feeling. I've done it a million times, where I'm just about to make a breakthrough, and that is when things get the toughest. Things are always the toughest right before a big breakthrough. And it's so easy to quit right before the finish line. I think this card is telling you that to not quit, even though things may seem tougher than they ever have before. If they do, that's most likely because you're about to break on through to the other side, as Jimmy would say. So, no, that's not Jimmy. Jim. Okay. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that don't get discouraged this week if you feel like the world is against you, because that's pretty much a pretty good signal that you're right about there, and you're right about to break into some new territory that's gonna unlock some new opportunities for you. So yes, don't get discouraged is basically what that card is telling me here. And the last card we have is intuition. Okay, this card is telling me that you need to follow your higher guidance, your psychic abilities. Even though you may not realize it, we're all psychic to some degree, every single one of us, and we all have intuition to some degree. And I think that intuition is, the main guiding light in people, whether they realize it or not. It's going back to this metaphor. Let's say you're the person your ego is the person in the forest, and your intuition is on top of the mountain. And when you're getting stressed out with all these trees in your way, you can't find the water, your intuition is on top of that mountain, and it's pointing, it's screaming at you, hey, go left here. And you're like, left? I can't go left. There's just a wall of trees I'd have to cut my way through. But your intuition knows that going left is going to be the fastest route because it can see everything, just to bring these cards together. So I'm getting the sense that intuition is going to be very important this week. It's going to be something that you need to use as your guidance system. If you feel or hear, intuition comes to us in all different ways. But if you hear or feel some sort of tugging in some direction and you don't know where it's coming from, generally I think that's probably your intuition, and it's something that you should definitely not ignore because it's guiding you. And it might tell you to go left when everything else in you says to go right. Your logic brain says we have to go right. But if your intuition is telling you left, then go left, even if it seems like the wrong thing, because your intuition knows. So definitely trust your higher self, your higher guidance. If you're not in connection with your higher guidance, putting these three cards together, I think meditation is going to be a great practice to help you get through this week. Definitely I see meditation here as something that's going to help a lot. It's going to give you the perspective with the higher ground. It's going to help you get in touch with your intuition, and it's going to culminate into a breakthrough that is going to propel you forward and give you more confidence and give you more hope for the future, because once you hit that breakthrough, you hit the ground running and you're ready for more, even though that you felt like you were just about to feel exhausted, right? You know what I'm saying? So all in all, I'd say this is a great week. It's a great week for intuition. It's a great week for higher guidance. It's a great week for getting the bigger picture and really seeing the overall bigger picture so that you can make that breakthrough, so that you can see that you're about to make that breakthrough ahead of time, because I think that's very important. Like I said, so many people quit right before the finish line, and I think if you were in higher ground, you would see that the finish line is right there. You're so close, and you're about to make that breakthrough, and your intuition is guiding you the whole way. So trust it, and you will not be led astray. Okay, so I think that's some pretty good advice for this week. Try to keep this in mind as you go through your daily activities. And the overall message I'm getting here is, just connect with your higher self and and see things from a higher perspective. I think that's the theme of this week. So I want to thank you guys for watching that. Tune in every single Sunday, and we'll have more of these using different Oracle decks and maybe even some tarot decks. I'm not really sure. I want to mix it up. I do want to get my use out of this Nature's Whispers Oracle because it's so pretty. Oh my goodness, look at these cards. They're just gorgeous. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Leave a like if you do. Put a comment in the comment section if you want to talk about this reading or anything else, or have any questions or anything like that. And please subscribe if you want to see these videos on a regular basis. Alright, that's going to do it for me. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy taroting! Peace!